aware that many of you would love to see Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight on the upcoming Disney Plus series. But there are two problems with that wish. The first is that Keanu Reeves ain't doing television, even if it is a hot new streaming service. I mean, we're in the middle of the Keanu-sance, right? And also, Keanu Reeves is not Jewish, and that's crucial to the character of Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, who in the comics is the son of a rabbi. Kevin Feige is not going to want to court controversy by doing away with that. Plus, as he aggressively strives for diversity in the MCU, he's really making up for lost time, right? He seems to be finally, that and taking risks were like the only two criticisms any of us had about the MCU, and it seems like he's trying to make those go away, and so far, very effectively. But anyway, he's striving for diversity with representation for gender, sexual orientation, and ethnicity, and religion is certainly something he can and should add to that list. Therefore, I've only put Jewish actors on my casting list for Moon Knight. Now, I know some of you like to say, Grace, it's called acting. Keanu Reeves can play a Jewish character. Well, it's 2019, and we don't do that anymore. Why don't we do that anymore? That's not the only reason that I'm behind this. I think representation is important, and also opportunity. I think that people who actually come from these, who actually live the life, I mean, an actor, I can see where some of you are coming from. An actor is supposed to explore other people's lives, right? But it does come down to, experience and, bringing a certain knowledge to a role that others just simply, no matter how much research they do, won't be able to. And we're seeing that behind the camera as well. So you might see actually some Jewish talent behind the camera for this show too, come to think of it. But it's also opportunity. So often actors in special interest groups don't have a lot of opportunity in Hollywood. So it's crazy that they would have to compete for the roles that that are like them, right? I mean, if they can get any role in Hollywood, it should be these roles. And as you'll see, the actors on my list could use the work. Now, for background beyond religion, so you know what else we're looking for, Mark Spector started out as a boxer, then he became a U.S. Marine, and then a mercenary. Now, this makes him an excellent fighter, but also a great strategist and someone good with technology and weapons training, etc. Then he becomes a vigilante, supposedly given powers by an Egyptian moon god. And I say supposedly because when the character first started out, he legit got powers from an Egyptian moon god. But, eventually, as is the case with all comic book characters, a writer gets a really clever idea and says, how can I make this more than a Batman ripoff, right? Or just, how can I make this a more unique character? And what was come up with was the fact that Mark Spector has spent some time in mental institutions. So there's a case to be made that he simply believes he was given powers by an Egyptian moon god. But he actually suffers from multiple personality disorder, and one of those personalities is even a different version of Moon Knight, Mr. Knight. This sounds pretty good. A little complex for Kevin Feige, as we know, but streaming shows, because they have more time to tell the story, can be a little bit more complex. Who would have ever thought he'd do WandaVision, right? So that's another exciting thing about Marvel moving into the TV space, the MCU proper, that they can explore these more complex stories. So my top choice is actually Sacha Baron Cohen. And if you watch The Spy on Netflix, he'll instantly become your top choice as well. Such an amazing show. Cohen is not only Jewish, but with an Israeli mother, has a strong connection to the Middle East, which allows him to touch on the Egyptian aspects of Moon Knight at the same time as representing the Jewish aspects of the character. Now, sure, Cohen might be in his late 40s, but he handles the action scenes in The Spy perfectly, and there are plenty of very popular older action stars these days. Plus, hello, who better than Sacha Baron Cohen to play a character with multiple personalities? By the way, please watch The Spy. It's amazing. It's like Middle Eastern James Bond. He's both an amazing action character and so debonair and charismatic. It's historic. It's a true story. They change a couple of things about his relationship with his wife. He actually He actually had a number of mistresses when he was a spy, and they make that seem not to be the case. But otherwise, it's very factually correct. Very interesting show. All right, so I think it should lead to him joining the MCU. It's that good. I hope Kevin Feige has given it a whirl. All right, so anyway, Feige wants to go younger. I don't think he has to. I think Cohen is more than qualified to play the role. But if he wants to, I like Daniel Radcliffe as well. He's got the Harry Potter fandom, right? But he hasn't been able to do much with it post-Potter. All the Harry Potter actors are struggling. Emma Watson's had the most luck thanks to Beauty and the Beast, but that really seems to have been a one-off. So let's give Daniel Radcliffe a one-off. And I think because of his lack of success post-Potter, he would be willing to do a streaming show. Radcliffe has also built a reputation, sometimes to his detriment, as an actor who likes to take risks. And I think he'd really throw himself into this unique role. And hopefully here he'd have better people looking out for him, so he would make choices that were better received. Then I wanted to put an Israeli actor on this list. And if you are from the region, I would love to hear your recommendations because it was tough for me to get a good read on which actors are popular right now out of Israel. But, I would have loved to have picked Tomer Capone, who's so good on The Boys, but that show has already snapped him up. So I went with Michael Aloni. Now, yeah, he is hosting a popular reality show in Israel right now, which might seem not like it would take him out of contention. But he's got a really good look. He also has a background as a model. And he's not only an actor, but he's a writer-director as well, which I think gives him a little bit more of a serious cachet, right? Like he takes his craft seriously. Finally, I'd also like to throw Andrew Garfield into the mix. Now, I know he was already Spider-Man, but I think everyone agrees that he was a great Spider-Man. You know, despite the other problems that those Spider-Man movies ran into, Andrew Garfield was never one of those problems. He was great. And he's also, in addition to Radcliffe, proven to be a very good actor who likes to take risks. And I think actually succeeds better. I think he does a better job. I mean, if you want to know how good an actor Andrew Garfield is, go watch Breathe. He's really good in that film, directed by Andy Serkis. And he's slipping through the cracks in Hollywood. He's unable to recover from Sony canceling his Spider-Man series. And since Marvel's partially to blame for that, they should make up for it by swooping in here, because Garfield is definitely an actor who's worth saving. He deserves to be working in Hollywood, and right now it ain't looking so good. I'd also like to give honorable mention to these actors who I feel aren't as good as the ones that are on the top of my list, but yeah, I can see them maybe getting it. Ben Foster, kind of problematic, but if anyone can play someone who's has a multiple personality problem, he'd be great at it. He's very talented. Logan Lerman, a little bit, I don't think he has the gravitas that we like. But I mean, if they want to go younger, I mean, he'd be an obvious choice. And then Robert Kaczynski. Robert Kaczynski, but if you want options, I felt I should include him. All right, so who do you like for Moon Knight? I'm curious to hear your own ideas and what you think of mine down below. You also be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.